know, my background kind of changed. If you've been keeping up with my other social media, you know that I moved houses. And so my bookshelves are now different. My chair is still the same. And my books are obviously still the same. They were a pain to move, but yeah, they're all still here. Let me see if I can show you. And also I hate this lamp. I bought this lamp kind of by mistake. I wanted this one, but not with the white thingy. And yeah, I need to return it, but I just haven't still. But yeah, I do need a lamp here to read, so I don't have like the big light on, you know. And so I changed houses, and I also changed jobs, and there was a lot of change in my life in March especially, and it was just chaos for a little while. And so reading kind of became just not part of my routine anymore. And so I'm trying, now that my life is a little bit more stable, even though I'm still planning for a wedding, but it's a little bit more stable than it was like a month ago. So I'm trying to reintroduce reading into my life again. And I have been kind of reading, not consistently, but I've been trying to read every day. Sometimes it has worked and sometimes it hasn't. But yeah, I just feel like I'm still not where I want to be. Where I'm just like reading consistently and not forcing myself to read consistently, you know. It's just not part of my routine yet like it was before. But yeah, anyway, I'm just rambling. I wanted to do like a quick video because I felt like filming and I missed filming, and also I want to read, so why not? It's just a Sunday afternoon, I'm at home, and I want to read a little bit of all of the books that I'm reading right now. And I'm actually reading 3 books. Actually I'm reading 2, but one of them I read the first chapter and I want to continue with the book, so might as well just say that I'm reading it as well, even though I only read like 5 pages. But anyway, so the first book that I'm reading, I'm still at the beginning as well, but I've read a little bit more. I've read 66 pages, and it is 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. And I do gotta say that this was not what I was expecting because I just don't read synopses of books, and you know, that's my fault. That's my fault for just like looking at the cover and trying to understand the vibe of the book. But this is basically a romance, and now I'm just, I don't know if I'm gonna like it. But yeah, I'm on page 66, and yeah, I want to read a little bit more of this right now. And the next book that I'm reading, I'm kind of in the middle of it, and it is Confessions of a Mask by Yuko Mishima. And this book was written in the 50s, if I'm not mistaken, maybe in like the late 50s. And it's by a Japanese author, and it's about a Japanese boy coming to terms with his sexuality in 1950s Japan. So it's interesting so far. I'm on page 70, and this has like 160 or 50 pages. And I'm liking it so far, but I still don't really know where the book is headed, so intrigued about that. And the other book that I'm reading, I'm still pretty much in the beginning. I'm on page 15. I actually thought I had read less than that, but it's Blessings, and this is a book that came out I think last year, and I've seen everyone talk about it, and yeah, that is also another book that I'm reading. And anyway, my idea for this video is just to read for half an hour each of these books, and yeah, I guess that's it. I'm gonna put like a timer on my phone, and I'm just gonna read while the sun is going down outside. And I actually think this is gonna be interesting because the books are pretty different from one another, and so I think, for example, this one is gonna be like easier to read more pages than maybe Blessings and maybe Confessions of a Mask as well. And I want to see how much I read of each of these books, so I'm gonna try and keep in mind the pages that I was in, and I'm gonna check at the end of the 30 minutes to see how much I read. So I think it's gonna be interesting to see if it impacts in any way how much I read of each book in like the same time frame, I guess. So yeah, I don't know which one I'm gonna start with. Maybe I'm gonna start with Confessions of a Mask. Then I'll read 7 Days in June and then Blessings. So yeah, I guess let's start. Let's put a timer for 30 minutes and let's start. Okay, that scared me. So, how many pages did I read? I read 21 pages because I was on page 70 and I'm on page 91, almost 92. I was almost about to turn the page. So I read almost 22 pages in this half hour. And I don't know if that's a good number to read in half an hour. I feel like that's not a lot, but also something else that I figured out while I was reading was that I said that this book was set in the 50s, I think, but it's not. It was written in the 50s, but it's set in the 40s because it's during the Second World War. So yeah, I read 21 pages. I'm more than halfway done with the book now, and I'm gonna move on to the next one while I still have light. I think I'm gonna have to turn on this light though, because it's getting pretty dark and I'm forcing my eyes. Where is it? Oh, it's right here. Okay, so I'm gonna have to turn this on. Hopefully this focuses. Okay, maybe that's too dark, but yeah, now I'm gonna read Blessings. I'm gonna turn this on for now. I'm gonna read Blessings, and honestly I don't even really know what this book is about, so I'm gonna read the back. When Obifuna's father witnesses an intimate moment between his teenage son and the family's apprentice, newly arrived from the nearby village, he banishes Obifuna to a Christian boarding school. Surrounded by unknown faces that soon become friends, lovers, and enemies, Obifuna finds and hides who he truly is, while his mother, Ozuomaka, grapples to hold on to her favorite son, her truest friend. When he leaves school as a young man, Nigeria criminalizes same-sex relationships, and Obifuna's life, or the life he wants to live, becomes even harder to envision, out of reach in a way that is more dangerous and tangible than before. So kind of similar themes here, because I didn't really know this was about also a gay young man, and also struggling with like his identity and his sexuality in a country that is not accepting of him. Kind of the same themes here, which is interesting. I only read like 2 chapters, so hopefully starting this new chapter I won't be too lost. But yeah, I'm gonna start on page 15 because I'm not gonna skip a page because I was on page 16, but that was like in the middle of a chapter. So I'm gonna start on 15 and let's see how much I read in this next half hour. And yeah, let's start. Can you see that? You can't. Okay, anyway. Also I need the light. I got scared again by the alarm, but another half hour has come and gone and I'm on page 47, so that means I read 32 pages, and yeah, it was good progress. I'm liking the book. I think reading the back of the book really helped in understanding where I was in the story, and yeah, I feel like I read more pages from this book than Confessions of a Mask, because this one has a lot of, well, not a lot of chapters, but this one I am in the middle of like an 80-page chapter, and so I don't know, just like the breaks from chapters in this one just made it go by faster, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I read like maybe 3 chapters or something. And also this one has just more dialogue in general, or I guess this one lacks dialogue because I don't know if I've read any dialogue in this book, to be honest. Not a lot. But yeah, another book and a few more pages read. I'm excited to continue with this one. I'm liking it so far. And next, I'm gonna read 7 Days in June, but right now I'm actually gonna do a little pause in this because I'm gonna eat something. I'm hungry, and then I'll come back and read for 30 pages, for 30 minutes, maybe 30 pages or maybe more. And the interesting thing about doing these increments of reading time is that after doing this whole thing of reading for 30 minutes each of these books, I will have read an hour and a half, which is like crazy because I haven't read for an hour and a half in so long. So yeah, and also I'm making progress in all of the books that I'm reading. So yeah, I'm liking this so far. I'll come back in a second and read.
1 hour later.
Okay, I'm back. I'm well fed and I'm ready to read the last book in this little video. And as I was saying before, I don't know, just from the cover and from people I know that have read this book and the types of books they read, I didn't really know this was more leaning towards a romance. I thought this would be more of a, maybe like a literary fiction book or a contemporary book. Let me just check the main genres of this, because from the synopsis and from what I've read so far, which is like 66 pages, it seems like it is a romance book. But let me check online. So 7 Days in June. Maybe I'll check Goodreads. Those are usually pretty fair. Okay, so it is a romance. That's interesting. I really thought this was a contemporary book or a literary fiction book. This is why I should read the back of the book before buying. But, you know, I have nothing against romance. It's just that every time I read a romance, I usually end up not hating it, but not loving it and not liking it either. It's just like a very meh book. So yeah, I don't know, we'll see. I'm gonna read a little bit more right now, and if halfway into the book I'm not liking it, I'll drop it. But yeah, it's just really hard for me to not connect, but like root for the couple in most romance books, or in pretty much all of them. And I don't really like when the plot is just like the couple falling in love and then breaking up, and it's not that interesting to me. But yeah, interesting, because this cover doesn't read romance to me. But you know, I'm gonna try it and we'll see. Maybe I'll like it, who knows. I was just like expecting a whole different vibe from this book. Now let's set up my 30-minute little timer and let's read. And with that, the 30 minutes are over and I read almost 40 pages. I read 39 pages of this book, and I don't know, I just didn't feel like reading a book like this right now. So like I said, I'm gonna try and read a little bit more and then we'll see. And I didn't even say what this book was about. I just said it was a romance, but it's basically about these two authors. One of them kind of like writes erotic books with vampires and all of that, and the other one writes just kind of like award-winning books, just like heavy stuff. Basically they meet at a literary event, and it's not the first time that they meet. No one in their lives really know that they knew each other since they were in high school, and in high school they had kind of like this fling. So they're gonna like reconnect and maybe like rekindle their chemistry from when they were in high school. It's okay so far, and yeah, we'll see where it goes next. But yeah, I read a lot of pages today. I don't remember how many I read for the other two books, but I'm gonna put the count here of the number of total pages that I read across these three books. But yeah, I'm happy that I did this. It was really fun to just like sit with each of these books individually for 30 minutes each. And yeah, I read for an hour and a half today, which was great. So yeah, making progress and trying to read again consistently, and trying to build a habit of picking up a book at least once a day. So this was nice practice for that. And I'm gonna go to bed now, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on my next one. Bye.